Today we're going to be talking about oil storage tanks. There are three different types of tanks for storing oil: the cone roof, internal floating roof, and the external floating roof. Today I will give a brief description of the basics of the external floating roof tank. Oil storage tanks are cylinders that can be anywhere from 20 feet to 350 feet in diameter and anywhere from 20 feet to 80 feet in height. Oil tanks are erected on concrete foundations that are 1 foot in width to 2 feet in width and anywhere from 2 feet to 6 feet in height. These are called ring walls, and inside of the ring wall we fill it with sand. The type of external floating roof tank I will outline is the cone bottom. This means that the bottom will slope down from the ring wall to the center of a tank 1 inch every 10 feet. The bottom will consist of 3 different parts: the annular plate, which sits directly on top of the ring wall and is a minimum of 2 feet in width and 3/8 of an inch in thickness. The bottom plate will be a minimum of 1/4 inch in thickness and 6 feet in width by 6 feet in length. The third part is the sump that sits in the middle of the bottom and will be 3/8 of an inch in thickness, 4 feet in height, and 4 feet in diameter. This will allow all of the oil to run to the center of the tank. The first part of construction is to install the center sump. The top of the sump will be level with the sand. The next part to be installed will be the annular ring on top of the ring wall. This will have all welds that join it together x-rayed 100%. The bottom will be laid starting at the center sump and lay in rows going right or left to an annular plate. Each will be shingled from center sump to annular plate as a roof on a house is shingled from lowest point to highest point. All laps on bottom plate will be joined by a 1/4 inch lap weld that will be visually inspected. The next step will be the erection of the cylinder part of the tank, which will be made up of flat plates that will be 6 to 10 feet in height, 1/4 inch to 2 inches in thickness, and a minimum of 10 feet in length. These plates will be set using a crane that will be rated from 25-ton to 75-ton lifting capacity. As the plates are set, there will be 1/8 of an inch spacer in each joint for keeping a uniform gap for welding. The plates will be joined by 100% welds that will be x-rayed for quality and a minimum of 1 x-ray per weld seam. There can be anywhere from 8 shell rings to 13 depending on the width of each ring. There will be a minimum of 2 nozzles installed in the first shell ring. One will be a suction and the other will be for filling. The suction will run out to the center bottom sump. The next step will be the setting of the wind girder. This will also be a plate that forms a platform for foot traffic to assess the perimeter of the top of the tank. It will be a minimum of 30 inches in width and a minimum of 5/16 of an inch thick. It will have a handrail on the outside that is 42 inches in height, and the girder will set down from the top of the shell 42 inches. The handrail and the distance of that below the shell are an OSHA requirement. OSHA stands for Occupational Safety Health Administration and is a part of the government. When the wind girder is completed, there will be an angle that will be lifted to the top of the last ring. This angle can be from anywhere from 3 inches by 3 inches by 1/4 of an inch to 6 inches by 6 inches by 1/2 inch, depending on the height of the tank. This will be welded 100% and again x-rayed for quality. The next step is the setting of the external floating roof. This can be the most time-consuming task due to the pieces that it takes to build. It will be erected at its working height, which will be 6 feet to 7 feet up from the bottom and will slope from the shell. This slope will be 1 inch every 10 feet. The pontoons will arrive at job site pre-built in a welding shop. They will be 20 to 23 feet in length by 8 feet wide and 30 inches in height. There will be 1 leg every 20 to 23 feet in the middle of each pontoon and 1 man away. The mini is for the pontoon inspection once each year to see if there are any leaks. The floating roof flat plate will be installed the same as the bottom plate. There will be a leg installed every 20 inches in a radial and circular distance, and there will be a minimum of 2 manways installed for making roof access during construction of the roof easier. The last part of the roof to be built is the seal between the vertical shell and the outside of the pontoon. This consists of a large rubber bladder that is attached to the outside of the pontoon and expanded until it comes into contact with the shell. This is to keep vapors from escaping. So as you can see, when you're driving by a tank, it's a little bit more complex than just some cylinder storage facility.
Woo!